so that whenever you need to go through the lessons again, you can just go to the recording. I'll upload it to my YouTube channel after the lesson.
All right, no problem. All right.
Okay. Okay, we can begin. I don't take much of the time. All right, so in the package that you paid for, this one is 2 strategies. So we're going to start with the easiest ND, which is considered to be an entry-level strategy because it's not as effective as the other one, and it's relatively easy to execute. But anyway, before I begin, I want to know, how much do you know about Forex? Have you done your own research before? Have you placed a trade before?
Yeah, I've just done a few, and then I've seen a few people doing it, but I've just done a bit of research, not too heavy.
Have you ever placed a trade before?
No, I've never placed a trade before.
Oh, I see. So like, you're kind of like a beginner, a complete beginner, right?
Yeah, somehow.
What leverages pips and so on? Do you know what those are?
Pardon?
Do you know what pips are, leverage, lots, and
pips,
so on?
leverage a bit, but pips are those digits at the end that you use to calculate how much profit or loss you gain, if I'm correct?
Yes, kind of, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's just...
Basically, I'll just say I'm a beginner. So
okay.
I can just do it as a beginner, yeah.
Okay, so in the past, when you're watching people do the trading and stuff, was it on fundamental analysis or it was for technical analysis, where like you draw lines on a chart and you decide?
I just used to see the lines and technical analysis, that's all.
Oh, I see, okay. So this is the different kind of Forex that I'm teaching you in here. So with this one, we only trade when there's a news event that's happening. So we don't utilize any charts, draw any lines, calculate entry points and exit points. We don't do any of that. We just wait for news event. Yeah. But anyway, it's relatively easy to do. It's easier, and in my opinion, it's more exciting. It's more exciting.
What about the technical one, technical analysis? Why don't you trade that one?
I do from time to time, but I don't know. I feel like it's a bit too routine for me, you know? That's how I feel about it. But I do trade from time to time. Yeah, I do trade.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so in this lesson, we're going to focus on fundamental analysis. The first strategy we're going to start with is the easiest MD. Now, but first, before I proceed, are you with any broker? What brokers are you with?
I'm not with any broker yet. Yesterday, when you sent me those links, you sent me how many links? 3, right?
I sent you one for investing.com, Google Clock, and for Hotforex.
Oh, Hotforex is the one, right? That I was supposed to sign up for.
Okay, that's fine. If you didn't sign up for it yesterday, then you can do it today after the lesson. Yeah, I can like walk you through.
All right.
Okay, so that Hotforex account, for the easiest MB, it only requires one account. So that Hotforex account is enough for this strategy. So it only requires one account. You'll be using it to be placing the orders and so on. So when it comes to the easiest MB, we're going to be placing one buy stop and one sell stop within the single account that you'll be using. Now, buy stops and sell stops, these are just basically future trades that you're placing. So by placing a buy stop, for instance, your broker is going to wait for price to increase to a certain point. Then a sell stop is the opposite. Excuse me. So your broker waits for price to reach a certain point. That's when they enter the trade for you. So it's not like when you place a buy stop or a sell stop, you're live in the trade there and then. Your broker is going to wait for price to reach a certain point, then enter the trade for you. So you can think of it as a future trade that you're placing. I hope that's not too complicated.
No. So selling, is that when it's going down?
Yes.
Oh, that's when the broker waits for the price to go down, and then when it reaches that point is when it enters the trade for you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So that's what buy stops and sell stops are. So in the one account, you'll be placing one buy stop and one sell stop. So you're placing one of each, essentially. The whole goal of this strategy,
in the same trade.
yes, in the same trading session,
Okay.
in one buy stop and one sell stop. The whole goal of the strategy is to hedge the news event. So regardless of whichever direction price goes, we'll still be on the safe side. If price is a buy, the buy stop will be there for us. If price drops, the sell stop will be there for us. I hope you've understood the basis of how the strategy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Moving on, the easiest NB. It's less effective than the extreme, which is the other strategy in this package, because your broker waits 10 pips before going live for you. Now, why it's 10 pips is so that you can avoid some movements when it comes to you can avoid movements that price makes before a news event happens, which is usually caused by the broker when they play around with the spread so that they can increase their commissions, basically. So this is there for that. But again, you're giving away 10 pips. So it's saving you, but it's also making you less profitable in a way, because you have to wait until these 10 pips have been reached before you go live into a trade. I hope that has made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, one account, one buy stop, one sell stop, and both of them will be 10 pips away. So for the buy stop will be 10 pips above the ask price. Then for the sell stop, it will be 10 pips below the bid price. I'll explain what the ask price and bid price are.
Right.
Okay, before we move on, do you have any questions?
You said the buy, when you have to wait 10 pips as it's going up, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah. You have to wait.
Then sell, you wait 10 pips as it's going down to place the trade.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, this course is based on fundamental analysis. Now, for the easiest NB and for the extreme, there's a particular list of news events that we choose to trade the strategies with. So for the easiest NB, this is the list. It includes CAD, GDP, GBP, GDP. There's AUD interest rates, GBP PMI, AUD retail sales, Euro interest rates, and GBP interest rates. But before I move on, how much do you know about fundamental analysis? Like, what's your idea of what it is?
Not much, but basically what I know, what I've heard from people that have seen trade is they wait for the news or a big event to know which trade to place or to know where the market might move. I'm correct.
Do you have any idea why the price moves during these same events?
Due to economical factors, if I'm correct.
Pardon?
Due to economical factors, if I'm correct.
I guess you can say those are in the report. Now, like, what actually makes the price move? Do you have any idea?
The event itself?
Yes, the event itself. Like, what makes it spike up or down?
Okay, then I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine. Do you follow any cryptocurrencies? How much do you know about crypto?
Not much.
Okay, let me give you an example. So like Bitcoin, right? Elon Musk likes hyping up these cryptocurrencies. So like if he makes a tweet on Bitcoin, a lot of people are going to rush to buy Bitcoin. Now, in the process of all of the hundreds of thousands of people buying at the same time, it makes Bitcoin spike in value. Now, the same happens with these economic events. So when countries release these reports to the public, people rush to buy or sell these currencies. Then by them buying them in large amounts in a short period of time, it creates a spike. It could be up or down. That spike is what we choose to trade. I hope you've understood now.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so those spikes are what you choose to trade. So like I said, this is the list. So there's CAD GDP, GBP, GDP, there's AUD interest rates, GBP PMI, AUD retail sales, Euro interest rates, GBP interest rates, and so on. Now, this is the list. I'll send you a screenshot of this at the end of the lesson. But if you want, you can master them individually so that you don't have to pull out the screenshot all the time. So yeah, it's up to you.
Okay.
Decide what you want to go for. So yeah, that's what news events are. This is the list. So any news event that's not amongst this list, we ignore it. Essentially, basically, we ignore it. The reason why is because in as much as there are hundreds of news events, they're not all as powerful as each other. So these are the ones that I've picked myself, that I've experienced the most volatility with. So like by trading these, you have the most movements as compared to, for example, crude oil inventories. That one is one of the low performing events and so on. So yeah, any news event that's not amongst this list, we ignore it. Do you have any question?
Okay. No.
Okay, we can move on.
But then how frequent do those news events appear? Those for the easy?
These ones appear once a month. So for like this one, it's once a month, and so on. In some rare occasions, sometimes it might happen twice a month. Like there was some time last year when the Fed interest rates happened a few times in the same month. I think that was about 3 times. Like it always depends. It depends. But on average, it's once a month.
All right.
Yeah, I hope that has answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, I think I'll talk about this slide next. Okay, so we'll get back to this ESMB. I'll talk about it when we enter the slides for MetaTrader 4. But anyway, moving on. The other strategy in this package is called the Extreme SMB, my favorite strategy. Now, this one, it's got the concept is the same as the easy SMB, except this one is a bit more advanced. With this one, we'll be using 2 accounts at the same time. So for instance, if you've got an account with Hotforex and just Forex, you'll be managing both accounts at the same time. It sounds difficult, but it's really easy if you yeah, it's really easy. Anyway, so just Forex or Forex, those are the 2 accounts that you'll be using. Now the secret with this strategy is that you'll be placing 1 buy in 1 account and 1 sell in the other account. The whole idea is similar to the easiest SMB. You're basically hedging the news event. So whichever direction price goes will be on the safe side. Now, one important thing to note is that when creating or when executing this strategy, it only works for accounts with the leverage of 1 to 1,000 going up. So a leverage of 1 to 100 or 1 to 500 is not good enough to recover the amount that has been lost in that account. So it always has to be 1 to 1,000 going up. I hope that's
not true. Isn't that a bit risky, if I'm correct?
No, not necessarily, because you're hedging the trade. There's 1 buy in 1 and there's a sell in the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why we're placing the buy and sell, is to hedge the trade so that we're always on the safe side. So if price drops, the sell will be there for us. If price spikes up, that means the buy will be there for us.
All right.
Yeah, you've understood the basic concept.
Yeah. Yes, I've understood.
Okay. Now, the other thing about this strategy is that when you're placing a buy and a sell, you're not placing future trades like the easiest NB, where your broker waits price reach a certain point, then they go live for you. That's not what's happening here. With this one, the second you place buy, our whole goal is to enter the trade there and then. So when you place a buy, our trade will be live. You'll be able to see your profit and your loss fluctuating. Then the same will happen for the sell as well. So the buy and the sell, there'll be market or instant execution trades. So the moment you click buy, you're live. The moment you click sell, you're live as well. Then you wait for the news event to happen. That's one important thing to note.
Also, you place before the news event happened.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But then why would you do that before even knowing if you're on the safe side?
That's how I'm hedging it. So that whichever direction price
Oh.
goes, we're on the safe side.
So that's how many minutes or hours before the news comes out?
The maximum is 1 minute before the news event happens. That's when you start placing the trade. So both for the extreme and the SMB.
Oh,
It should
okay.
never be.
How do you wait? How do you know when the news event's about to come?
Okay, that's a good question. It's covered in this course. We're going to get to that slide.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right.
So for now, just remember that for the extreme SNB, it requires 2 accounts. So 1 account.
And you still wait 10 pips as well in this one, right?
No. With this one, the 10 pips is only for the orders, the buy stops.
Easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
With this one, that's why it's more effective than easy actually. Because with this one, you're not giving away 10 pips before you go live. The moment you click buy and sell, you're live in the trade there and then.
All right.
Yeah, you're not giving away any pips.
All right.
Okay, so for now, just remember that for the extreme, it requires 2 accounts. Then in each account, you place a buy. Sorry, in one account only, you place a buy. Then in the other account, you place a sell. Yes. Then the moment the news event happens, and you see blue has appeared in whichever account, that's the one you should focus on and close the trades immediately. Don't worry about the other account because it's got an opposite trade. And obviously, if you're seeing blue in one account, that means in the other account where there's an opposite trade, there's red. And it's going to get blue. Okay. So the whole idea.
So you close immediately the one that's red?
No. You close the one that's blue. Where your profit is. Blue means profit.
But then don't you, isn't there a way that you have to gauge how much profit you want to make?
There is, you can see how much profit you're making. However, these spikes happen really quickly. So the second it turns blue, it's most likely reached its maximum height or its maximum depth.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought maybe you have to wait like a certain amount, then maybe you pick how much profit you want.
No.
That's in technical, right?
That's in technical analysis where it hits it. Okay. Take profit or whatever, yeah.
All right. So in this one, it's just you have to wait for a few seconds or minutes.
No, you don't have to wait for anything. The moment they do,
you just see.
You see price reacting there and then. If you're on the charts section of MetaTrader 4, you see the candlestick growing in size.
Oh, okay. And immediately it's blue, you close.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
You close the ones that are in profit only. Don't worry about the ones that are in loss. So the ones in loss, you just ditch them completely, or you can close. That's the whole idea. So like for instance, if we're planning on trading like let's say $100 for a particular news event, we're going to split that amount 50-50 within the accounts. So one account will have $50, the other one will have $50. Now our whole goal is to lose one account with $50 so that we can gain $100+ in the other account that has got profit.
In the other account.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to recover what you've lost in the other account plus much more on top because of the leverage. That's why leverage is important.
Okay. Yeah. So 1 to 1,000 is only for extreme SNB?
No, even the easy. Even the easy. But you know, leverage, it's a double-edged sword. As fast as you can make profit it's the same as it's just the same as you losing money also. You lose money just as fast if you've made a mistake.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But it's very important for the extreme. For the easiest MB, you could use 1 to 100, yeah, but your profit will be growing slower.
Okay.
You're going slower because you won't open as you won't be able to open as many lots as you would with with the leverage of 1 to 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. On leverage, you understand what leverage is, right?
It's, I understand it from math. It's basically how much you're putting in or how much you might gain.
Okay.
For a certain outcome, if I'm correct. Or you can explain to me, I wouldn't mind.
Okay, so leverage, you can think of it as like a loan that your broker gives to you. So for instance, if I have a leverage of 1-to-1, that means if I put up $10, my broker can only loan me up to $10. But if my leverage is 1-to-1,000, if I put up $10, my broker can loan me up to $10,000. So that means $10 has a larger buying power with a larger leverage.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
But does it also meaning when the broker loans you that same 1,000 to 10, meaning that okay, since your 10 is in that 1,000, if I'm correct, when you gain profit, do you gain on top of that 1,000?
Yes. The whole one.
Oh, it gains on top.
From one. Pardon?
It gains on top of the 1,000, meaning you have maybe, let's say you gain a profit and it reaches 2,000. If I'm correct,
that means
I'm being wrong.
Yes, that means you flipped $10 to 2,000. You basically get to keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's leverage. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. So in as much as you can gain profit quickly, it applies the same
lose.
Yeah. So you just need to be careful and be quick and observant when executing these things.
All right.
Yeah. Otherwise, your $10 will go just like that if you made a mistake.
All right.
Yeah. So leverage is.
So you can instantly just make like $1,000
from $10 in the right news event. Yes, you can. I think.
Yes, in the right news event.
Yes, you can. Although from $10 to $1,000, that's 100x. I've never really reached 100x in a single event. I think the most I've reached is like, I don't know, it's like 10x. I should have a video on my Instagram somewhere. Yeah, 10x is the most I've experienced.
All right.
Yeah, but it's very possible. So leverage, it's your friend. It's your friend.
All right.
You know how to use it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what makes this strategy work in the first place. So you lose one account, then in the other account you gain what you've lost plus much more on top. That's how the extreme works. Do you have any questions for everyone?
No.
Okay. All right, so just as much as, just like the easiest MB had its own news events, the extreme also has its own news events. So this is the list. I'll send you a screenshot of this as well at the end of the lesson.
Okay.
So the list includes AUD GDP, NZD GDP, card employment change, card interest rates, USD NFP, non-farm payrolls, USD Fed interest rates, and NZD interest rates. So any news event that's not among these, you don't trade them. Now, one interesting thing to note is that they've got different news events between the extreme and the easy. The easy, the extreme SMB has got much more powerful news events as compared to the easy SMB. The reason why is for the extreme, we obviously want to maximize our profit. We want to milk every single peak movement that are caused by these news events. That's why we use the extreme SMB for these ones. But if you want, you could also experiment here and there. You could also be using these. But like, it's not really, it's not really beneficial for the extreme. I would advise you to use the easy for this because when you place a buy and a sell in one account each, you're in the trade there and then. So if the news event doesn't move, you're basically going to be forced to pay the commission. Now, sometimes they move, sometimes they don't, but like on average, they do move more than they don't move. Now, they're not as powerful as the other list. So like it might not move enough for you to recover the amount in the other account. So it is advised for, the easiest is advised for them. Yeah, so you understand as you keep practicing, you understand why they're separated. But otherwise, this list is more profitable than the other one. Yeah. Do you have any questions from everyone?
No.
Okay. Price. When it comes to currency pairs like this, Euro USD, there's two types of currency pairs. There's non-JPY pairs and JPY pairs. Now, JPY is just the Japanese currency. So if you see a currency pair that doesn't have JPY anywhere in it, that means it's a non-JPY pair. It's that simple.
Okay.
Yeah. Then if it's got JPY in it, either on the quote side or the base side, that means it's a JPY pair. So yeah, those are the two types of currency pairs. They're very easy to tell apart by looking at them. In this example, we're going to be starting with Euro USD, which is a non-JPY pair. Now for non-JPY pairs, they're quoted in 5 decimal places. So like this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. Now when it comes to price, I'm calculating pips or adding and subtracting pips. We always ignore the last decimal place here, which is, in this case, it's the 2 at the end here. So when it comes to calculating pips, we always start from the second last decimal place. In this case, it's the 1 here. So if this one becomes a 3, that means the whole price has gone up by 2 pips. I hope you're following.
Or 2 pips. 2 pips.
Yeah, you're following?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just like that. So like if this one drops to a 0, that means the whole price has gone down by 1 pip. And that's how you add and subtract.
Okay.
So when it comes to adding like 10 pips, you're going to be adding to these two here, the third and the second last decimal place. So the 1 is going to be here and the 0 is going to be here. And the total price will be 1.1171. That means we've added 10 pips to the price.
Okay.
You understood?
Yeah, I've understood.
Yeah, then it's the same with subtracting. The 1 will be here, the 0 will be here, then the price will be 1.1151. That will be the price.
Okay, that's 10 pips that have been lost.
Exactly. Yeah. So just like that, that's how you add and subtract pips. I hope it's not too complicated.
No.
Okay.
But then what about the ones at the end? Why don't we use them?
Because these are considered to be points. So if this 2 becomes a 3, that means the whole price has gone up by 1 point. A point is just a fraction of a pip. It's a 10th of a pip. Okay. So it's too small for us to consider.
Okay.
And we usually calculate price in pips. So we'd rather start here than here.
All right.
Yeah.
So this type of arrangement is for non-JPY?
Exactly. They're the ones that are quoted.
What about the ones with JPY?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Moving on to the next slide, we're going to focus on this here, which is USD JPY. This is obviously a JPY pair because it's got JPY in it.
Yes.
So this currency pair here, this is its price. As you can see, it's quoted in 3 decimal places. That's another way to tell them apart. So non-JPY pairs like this are quoted in 5 decimal places. Then JPY pairs are quoted in 3 decimal places. Then just like the non-JPY pairs, we ignore the last decimal place here. That's why
you said the JPY pairs are what's the decimal place of?
They're quoted in 3 decimal places. They've got 3 decimal places.
The
decimal place.
But even the one on USD, JBP USD has 3 actually.
This one?
Yes, it has 3 there.
It has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't leave out the 0 here, like a small 0 here. It's also counted.
Oh, and then JPY has 1, 2, 3 after the decimal place.
Yes, after the decimal.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can even
Yeah, I
see
lost you there for a
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that's another way to tell them apart. So just like we ignored the last decimal place for non-JPY pairs, we do the same for JPY pairs as well. That's why they are in
Okay.
smaller font sizes. They are basically useless to us.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to adding and subtracting, we focus on the
Those two.
next two decimal places. Yeah. So just like before, if you want to add 10 pips to this, the 10 will be here. Sorry, the 1 will be here, then the 0 will be here. Then you can now do your mathematics. Okay, you've understood?
Yeah, I've understood.
Okay. All right, so moving on. This same application, it was the next slide actually. So this is MetaTrader 4. This is the application that you'll be using when it comes to placing your trades. Now, when you first open the application, this is the screen that you always see, the quote section. This is where you can actually select the currency pair that you want to trade with, or you want to see the chart for. Now, in some cases, you might not see the currency pair you want to trade with. Like, for example, what can I use? CAD JPY. It's nowhere to be seen here. You might want to use CAD JPY, but it's not here. In that case, just click on the plus, then you'll be shown more folders here that you can look through. And in most cases, you're going to find the same CAD JPY or whatever currency pair you're looking for in the same folders. So just tap on it in those folders, then it will add itself to this list at the bottom here. So don't really stress when you don't see a currency pair that you want to use. Isn't listed here. You following?
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay. We can move on. The next part of the app is the charts. Charts, like I said earlier, they aren't really important for us. The reason why is because we don't draw any trend lines or whatever to help us understand when to enter and when to exit trades. We don't do any of that.
Okay.
So for us, when we find charts useful and want to see candlesticks like this move in real time according to the news event, the impact of the news event, that's when it becomes somewhat useful for us. However, you being in a chart while the news event is happening might be a distraction because price might turn blue while you're still looking at it, then it might reverse. Then by the time you're going back to check your profits and your losses, you're in red in both accounts.
Okay.
So yeah, this
right.
it's kind of like a distraction. But unless you unsee for like maybe like 2 seconds, yeah, you can do that. But like it shouldn't be your primary focus on here.
Okay. So wait, when you're talking about the sell, when you're entering a trade in the extreme SNB, where do you place the sell pip and where do you place the buy?
Like where do
stop
you execute
on the sell stop? Yeah, because you said you have to be in the current trade from first.
Yeah.
So where do you place it exactly? Okay. You can give me an example.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll show you. It's in the upcoming slide. Should be the next slide.
Okay.
Actually.
All right.
Okay. No, actually, this one is the history. I think history can history can come last. History, I'll put you here. Okay. That slide. Why is it at the bottom? Okay. Sorry, I've lost it. Okay, I'll put you here. All right, so this chart, sorry, this slide here, this one shows the trade section of MetaTrader 4. It's the next tab from the charts here. It's the next one. Now, here is where your focus is going to be. Here, you're able to see your profit, your positions. So in our case, for the easiest MB, there'll be 2 positions, one for a sell stop and a second for a buy stop. If you're using the extreme SMB, there'll only be one here. So one sale in this account, then in the other account, there'll be only one position as well.
Buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see your positions. You can also see your balance, your equity, free margin, margin level, and margin. So this is where I'm going to be focusing on. So like, for example, you can see how much profit you're in. This is in a profitable trade, actually. That's why you see blue everywhere. If you're in a losing trade, you're going to see red everywhere. If anything, I think the blue color kind of bothers me because green would have made more sense than blue, in my opinion. But anyway, blue represents
yeah,
profit.
Understand.
Yeah, blue represents profit, then red represents losses. So when you see blue, that's when you start closing. But for the extreme SNB, if you're already in the account where you see red everywhere, make sure to switch to that account immediately. Because in here, if there's a sale and you see red, that means obviously where there's the opposite trade, there's going to be profit.
All right.
Yeah, so just switch. Then the moment you land into that account and see blue, you start closing immediately. You don't wait for anything because price does reverse. And you might end up losing money in the end because you find that you're in a $1,000 profit. But like since you delayed to close, it's dropped to $200 and so on. So you've lost money basically. So yeah, you just need to be quick when it comes to putting the trades. You just need to be quick and be observant.
All right.
So yeah, this is where focus is going to be. Now, when you want to place a trade, actually don't worry about these two other tabs here. This is for history, that's for news, this is for messages. These two I don't really use them. History just shows you a record of your trades. So it's not really that important. Yeah, anyway, when you want to place a trade, you click on this button here. That looks like a SIM card with a plus icon inside. Then you'll be taken to this page here.
Okay. Sorry. Can you give me just like a few minutes to do something? I don't know what time you'll be free again. I just need to do something quick. Then we can proceed with the class. If that's okay.
Yeah, we can continue at 21 if you want.
You're busy after now, right?
Not really. Not really, but if you want, we can move it to 21. That's when we'll both be settled.
Okay. Okay, then I think let's just try that for now. Let me just do something.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to end it here then.
All right, thanks.
All right, sure.